This is not advice. This is an audit. Most men believe standards are optional. They treat them like preferences, something to adjust when life becomes inconvenient. They say they value discipline, honesty, strength, faith, leadership. But what they tolerate daily tells a different story. Standards are not what you admire. They are what you enforce when enforcement costs you something. And most men quietly lower their standards to avoid discomfort, then wonder why their life slowly shrinks. A standard that bends under pressure is not a standard. It is decoration. The self-imposed ceiling is a subtle form of self-deceit. It exists to make a man feel principled, to grant him the illusion of integrity without ever requiring genuine sacrifice. This is precisely why these ceilings are invisible to most men. They do not feel like external barriers. Instead, they feel like the natural, unchangeable height of life. But these ceilings are built, brick by brick, from tolerance. What you allow repeatedly hardens into the very limit you eventually cannot cross. Your own biology reflects this law without mercy. The body adapts only to the specific demands placed upon it, nothing more. Muscles grow only to the level they are stressed. The nervous system calibrates exclusively to the environment it is trained in. The rule is absolute. Raise the demand and capacity expands. Lower the demand or keep it static and ability inevitably contracts. The same rule governs character. A man who tolerates lateness becomes unreliable. A man who tolerates dishonesty becomes untrustworthy. A man who tolerates disorder becomes weak under load. None of this happens suddenly. It happens quietly, one concession at a time. History shows the same pattern at scale. Institutions do not collapse because standards are attacked from the outside. They collapse because standards are relaxed from within. Exceptions become common. Rules become flexible. Enforcement becomes optional. Eventually, the institution looks intact but cannot bear weight. The fall appears sudden only because decay was normalized early. Men experience this personally. They excuse small breaches because they seem insignificant, a missed commitment, a broken promise to self, a habit abandoned just this once. But the nervous system records every exception. It learns what you actually require of yourself, and it adjusts output accordingly. This is why men feel stuck at a certain level, not because they lack opportunity, but because they trained themselves to stop enforcing at that height. Religion has always framed standards as sacred boundaries, not mere suggestions. They are the guardrails established to protect the soul and preserve order against the chaos of impulse. The Quran warns, "Do not follow desires, lest they lead you away from the path." This is because unchecked desire constantly pressures our standards downward, seeking the path of least resistance. Without consistent resistance, the path of discipline narrows until it disappears entirely. The Bible states this same law plainly. He who is faithful in little will be faithful in much. Faithfulness is simply standard enforcement at a small scale. Without demonstrating it there, larger responsibility is impossible. Men often say, "The one some parksikshan sound SelfMastery, one monfer hagergai thich for on sau by ki, one per di, one for dabang. They pray for greater capacity and opportunity, but increase is always preceded by proof. Unmistakable proof that a man's personal standards hold firm under pressure. Proof that his principles are not situational or convenient. Proof that a man governs himself with integrity when no one is enforcing his character from the outside. This is why true leadership is so rare. It is not a title or a position, but a commitment. Leadership demands unwavering standards that do not negotiate with mood, fatigue, or the seductive call of convenience. It is a constant internal force. Most men prefer flexibility because it feels humane, more forgiving. But flexibility without a clear hierarchy of values becomes weakness. It is a ship without a rudder, adrift on the sea of impulse and momentary desire. Understand this. Standards exist to protect your future self from your present emotions. They are not a cage designed to make life harder. They are the foundation engineered to make your life stable, predictable, and strong. We help men build the internal architecture of discipline and leadership. We do this so they can strengthen their families, becoming the bedrock of trust and consistency, and in turn, improve the very fabric of society. But leadership without standards is merely chaos with authority. It is a dangerous illusion. A man who cannot enforce standards on himself will inevitably enforce chaos on those who depend on him most. His family will feel it first in the small tremors of broken promises. His children will learn inconsistency as their primary language. His word will lose its weight. His presence will lose its gravity, becoming a hollow echo in his own home. This is not punishment. It is consequence. It is the simple, unfeeling physics of human dynamics. Life does not argue with your standards. It simply and faithfully reflects them back to you. Raise your standards and your capacity rises to meet them. The challenge itself forges the strength required to overcome it. Lower them, and everything in your world, your ambition, your impact, your self-respect, shrinks to match. Men often confuse compassion with tolerance. This is a critical error. Compassion understands weakness and offers a hand up. It does not institutionalize it by lowering the bar for everyone. A man can forgive himself for a failure and still raise the bar for tomorrow. He can acknowledge his struggle and still refuse to live in a state of disorder. One is an event, the other is an identity. But once tolerance for your own excuses becomes a habit, your standards quietly disappear. And when standards disappear, the ceilings of your potential lock firmly in place above you. A man will never rise above what he allows himself to repeat. The chains of habit are too light to be felt until they are too heavy to be broken. Never forget this. So, audit your standards honestly. Not the ones you speak about at dinner parties, but the ones you silently enforce when no one is watching. Audit what you excuse. Audit what you postpone. Audit what you call not a big deal. Because that is where your true ceiling is being built. Quietly. Brick by brick. And one day, you will reach up for more. More respect, more strength, more opportunity. And you will hit a limit that you, and only you, installed years earlier. Standards are the architecture of your destiny. They are the blueprint you live by. Build them low, and you will live a low-ceilinged life. Build them high, and prepare to carry the weight of that ambition. The choice is yours. Adjust accordingly.